Are you an aficionado of the tiny keyboard? Are you in need of keycap for that tiny keyboard? Well, today we are going to seek and see what group buys are available so that a year and a half, maybe it's good to expect delays, your tiny keyboard will be outfitted with keycap and all will be well. So stay tuned. Well, here we are again, fellow keyboard degenerates. It's another episode of Is It 40 Friendly? This is the February 1st, 2021 episode, though technically recorded on the 31st of January, so anything that went live after the 31st January is not going to be covered in this particular episode. And if we're in the latter half of February or after that, please do check out the most recent episode of Is It 40 Friendly, because more than likely this information is way out of date. And a lot of these group buys are no longer active, which is kind of the point of this, to look at active group buys. Now, before I start ripping a new one, and people who do not deserve it, who were nice enough to organize and set up these group buys and design these keycaps, let's go ahead and review what I've been using for the last couple of weeks. And this is a Sear KBD or Corn that's been outfitted with Kale hot swap sockets and Kale chalk dark yellow switches. Linear, that's kind of unique for me. And yes, I do know that I don't have the acrylic covers for the OLEDs. I do have some I could swap out from one of my other CRKBDs because I have too many of those. However, I'm lazy. I'll buy some for this thing eventually. I know they're like 25 cents right now on Keyhive. So they're probably $3 now that I've set it. But that's also why I still have the little screen protectors on the OLEDs. Laziness working out for me again. Alright, maybe it'll sprout some acrylic covers if I wait long enough. And I just want to reiterate the rating system. Now, it's kind of split up into two sections. We have bad ratings and we have good ratings. Not 40 friendly, 40 okay, not good ratings. Those are bad ratings. Though it might still cover your particular keyboard the way you have it set up, it covers so few keyboards potentially that it's not really that worth it to look at it. Then we have the good ratings, 40 alright, 40 pretty good, and 40 friendly. 40 friendly should be hard to get, though I've been getting out quite a few 40 friendly ratings recently. I've had nothing to do with that. That's just chance and the hard work of the other members of the 40% community. However, the higher up you go in there, the more likely that a wider variety of keyboards will be covered. Now, you should always review the 40 sets before you commit to it. However, the higher up you are, the less careful you have to be. 40 all right, you really want to make sure that it will cover your situation or your keyboards. 40 friendly, well, go and give it a once over, just make sure. More than likely it's got everything, and there are some that will cover you, even if there's a slight mismatch in there. Now, that is enough rambling. Let's get to the needless butchery. Alright, so the first one we have up here is the Kerkerokeycaps set. Started on the 21st of January and just running through the 21st of February. Now, this one doesn't say what profile it is, but if we come down here, we'll see that it's a DSA profile. It's die sub PBT. These are pretty good stuff. So it's made by Infinikey. And according to the core kit, it says it is 104 full-size key, TKL, 75%, 60%, ISO, as well as ortho and Moonlander. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Now, it looks like this is icon modifier. Let's go and say icon modifier. And since it's DSA, we have a uniform keycap profile. Now, having said that, that means that we can take these keys and kind of put them anywhere we might potentially need them on the keyboard. So, taking a look. So as far as ortholinear is concerned, with the F keys as well as the nav cluster, I'd probably get you enough keys. I mean, if you're looking for having like unique symbols for every single modifier, you're probably SOL. However, that should have enough keys to fill you right there. But what about a 40%? So 1 unit modifiers, you got that. 1 1/4 unit modifiers, you got that. But what about 175 and 1.5 units? That's going to be kind of the tricky one, as well as space-bars. I mean, if you're running some weird size space-bars, we have at least 2 175 unit keycaps, if not 3. I think, let's see here, and that's 175. That's a 175. That, if I were a betting man, let's see here, that's a 1.5 right there. So I'd say that's a 175. We have some 225s. rocking in here. Let me just go ahead. Yeah. And looks like a 275 as well, which you could potentially use as space bars. There, the space bars for this kit do have icons on it in a way of, is that like the frog's tongue or something like that? So this one, oh, let's see here. As well as we also have a 2-unit in the default space bar, as well as a 0 key on the numpad. And we have some additional 1.5 unit keys as well. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to call this one 40 friendly. For 140 bucks, it's PBT die subbed, DSA, which might be a little hard to swallow, but at the same time, I think if you're not too picky on the modifiers, I think we have enough proper size keycaps to probably get the majority of things filled in there. So I'm gonna call it, let's see. It's ortho friendly, it's 40 pretty good. If I spent more time on it, I might give it a full fat 40 friendly, but for at the moment, I'm just gonna call it 40 pretty good, ortho friendly for 140 bucks. You also have an ergo kit. So if you're rocking those 1.5 unit modifiers and 2 unit modifiers, that might be something to look into as well. But moving on, that brings us to Infinikey Vanir. Don't question on me that's how you pronounce that. I'm going to assume you pronounce that. And that started on the 22nd of January, and it's running through the 5th of February is the closing date. And let's take a look here. So 75 for a base kit. Do we have... It's going to be the extension kits. The extension kit. Now, usually Infinikey has very good coverage. I really do need to buy a set to see if they're shit keycaps or not. They're probably fine. I think they're like either cherry or OEM profile. But let's go ahead and take a look here at the base kit, which, okay, well, I see some things here that I like off the bat. See, row 2, if you do use delete for your ortho linear instead of backspace, you have that option. The 1.25 unit bottom row modifiers, arrows, we're covered there. We do have some additional 1.5 unit as well as 1 unit bottom row modifier. So we have control, we have code and super. We have a 175 unit shift as well as a 1.5 unit backspace if your keyboard happens to use one of those. Not as common, but this is also where we're having the 2.25 and 275 unit space bars covered, and those do look like they are convex. Always like to see that. Kind of sucks whenever you run into the sharp edges of a non-convex space bar, even though that's probably on most of my keycaps, or most of my keyboards. Now going over to the extension kits, that's going to be the workhorse here. We pick up a 1.25 unit shift, as well as a 1 unit shift and a 1.5 unit shift. Kind of jumping around there, went to row 4 there, but let's go and go back up to row 2, and we have a escape, a tab, a 1 unit backspace, 175 backspace. We're pretty much covered on the backspaces. And then we come here to row 3, we have escape, code, so that's going to be a stand-in for tab as well as control. However, no dedicated 1 unit tab for row 3. It irks me a little bit, but that's the direction keycaps are going, and I'm not going to stand against the community on that one. 1.25 tab, 1.25 enter, 1.5 unit enter, 175 enter. We also have a row 4 enter as well, but we don't have a row 3 1 unit enter. I'm kind of knocking for that. And then we have raise lower. We have an additional alt 1 unit, can help fill out our bottom row, as well as 2 1 units and 1 2 unit spacebar. Now this is a $35 kit paired up here with a $75 kit, so $110 all for that. And again, that extension kit also adds 10 key as well as ISO compatibility as well. However, I'm going to go ahead and be kind of stingy on this. Lacking the 1 unit enter on row 3, I'm going to give it pretty good, which is that's awesome. But I'm going to go ahead and give it 40 pretty good on that. Moving along here, we have GMK Civilizations, which started on the 23rd of January, and it is running through the 23rd of February. It's a GMK kit. We're starting off here with a base kit of $125, and paying more attention on a GMK kit because that's where that price issue starts really coming in. Remember that I have a $180 ceiling that I have on keycaps, unless it gives me something. If it gives me something past what you usually see or really just knocks it out of the park, then I'm a little easier on it. But so 125, 135, so we're looking at $160, which is not bad for a GMK keycap set just off the bat, but it might completely drop the ball here in just a moment when we actually start looking at and seeing what is making up this set in and of itself. Now, this looks like pretty much a bog standard GMK base kit. We have 1.5 backspace. We have our bottom row modifiers mostly taken care of. Addition of an Infinikey. We have 2 colors of arrows. And yeah, so that exists there. Nothing, no surprises with that. But pretty good for 125 bucks. Nothing special, but that's a reasonable starting point for the price. Well, as reasonable as molded plastic seems to go for. So let's go ahead and take a look here at the 40 Orthos kit. So top row, we have escape. We have 2 escapes. We have an additional color in that escape key. We have a 1-unit tab, 1-unit backspace, and a 175-unit backspace. That's good. We have row 3, only 1 color for the escape. Not going to hold it against it, just something to kind of point out. We have a multi-use key for the tab and control key for row 3. We have a 1-unit enter. We have a 125 tab, a 125 enter, a 1.5 enter, and a 175 enter. We have, going down to row 4, we have a 1-unit enter, a 1-unit shift. We have a lower and raise. We have the 2 1-unit space bars, 2-unit, 225, 275. Let's see. I want to make sure, double check. We do have a 125-unit shift, which I didn't mention it because while I was scrolling through this, I noticed that we have the ISO kit integrated into the base kit, so that goes along with the ISO kit in that case, as well as the 175-unit shift. Let's see. Let's get back over to you. So this one, I'm going to go ahead and give it 40 friendly. No reason not to. I am not weighing that 175 spacebar pretty much at all anymore. And I'm sure there are new builds that are coming out with that. And it's kind of nice in the way where you can, if you have a like 175 backspace, 175 enter, 175 shift, you can kind of slide it in there if you're getting a little bit fun with your key maps. However, again, that's not going to be really heavily supported at all. Moving on, we have GMK Gateway, which is inspired by one of my favorite video games, Portal. And that started on the 26th of January, and that is running through March 1st. Now, do we have a 40s kit in here? I might just buy all of these out for 50 bucks, though. So I'm not currently seeing a 40s kit. Let's go ahead and take a quick look here at the base kit. And that is fairly standard GMK, just laid out a little bit differently. We don't get any extra space bars. I love these colors. Gotta be nice if Valve could count to 3 and come out with a Portal 3. I really don't give 2 shits about a Half-Life 3. As long as the Portal game's not in VR. I love VR. I play a lot of VR, but Portal would be a little much in VR. Unless it was a completely different game. But if it's still, I like the attitude and stuff. So we have pretty much bog standard GMK base kit at this point. Novelties are gorgeous, but not picking up much there in compatibility. So, unfortunately, GMK Gateway is not 40 friendly. And then we're going to finish up with ePBT Soju. And that started on the 29th of January, and that is running through the 24th of February. And we do have a 40s kit. We do have a 40s kit. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take a quick look here at this base kit. And again, pretty much bog standard, kind of very close to like a GMK base kit, at least the keycaps we'd be interested in. Though we also pick up a 2-unit shift, which is kind of interesting. But bottom row modifiers were good for 1 quarter, 1.5, and 1 unit. Don't ask me why I did in that order. As well as an F key, arrows, a delete key if you want to use that on an ortho keyboard. But coming over here to the 40s kit, looks like we also pick up some additional color here as well. We have, I need to check on the price. I forgot to do that. Escape, tab, backspace 1 unit, as well as 175 unit backspace. The escapes, 1 unit tab, 1.25 unit tab, as well as a code key. Okay, we have additional row 3s, as well as a 1 unit, 1.25, 1.5, and 175 unit enter, as well as picking up. Okay, so we have a 1 unit enter, lower and raise. I would say we have a shift key, a 1 unit shift on there, but we also have this down, which I guess that could take the place of lower and raise. That's interesting. But let's move on. Let's take a look here at the space bars. 1 unit, 1.25, 175, 2 unit, 225, 275. The shift is interesting though. Let me see if do we pick up a 1.25 shift on here? Because this has been tracking without having looked at the prices yet. This has been tracking for 40 friendly so far. Those novelties are kind of fun. Let's see. International. International's not expensive, but I hate to spend 20 bucks for a shift. So, and it's interesting, we have this down arrow on row 4. That is a curious one. So this one, because it's missing a 1 1/4 unit shift, which is a common thing to pick up either in a 40s kit or with a base kit if they include the international, I'm going to go ahead and give it a, well, I mean, who uses a 1 1/4 shift? Yeah, so for missing that 1 1/4, so for missing that 1 1/4 shift, I'm going to go and give it a 40 pretty good. I was about to give it a 40 friendly because, it has not been popping up in my mind as of recent history in that regard to having a 1 1/4 shift. But if we're going with like some older school 40% kits where we're lopping off, or the pinky is touching that longer modifier key, I need to figure out a better way to say that. Oftentimes, if we're like, let's say, a 1 unit backspace, then we have what is like a 175 enter, then a 1 1/4 shift key, oftentimes there. So ePBT Soju is 40 pretty good in this case. All right, that was the last set we're going to look at for this episode of Is It 40 Friendly? And this is the point of the episode where everybody quickly starts clicking off the video, which I understand. Almost nobody watches the last like 5 seconds, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. If you did get something out of this video, please do like, comment, subscribe, share the video, just as long as it links back to my actual YouTube video, so I can get some credit. So I might be able to have some more oomph to keep making these. But again, I do hope you got something out of it. I hope one of these episodes has helped you out a little bit. And of course, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day and have fun.